Devin, I know what the misfire is. I had the same issue on one of my M3s. Did you solve it by chance yet or no? If you need help, let me know. Please don't listen to throttle actuator suggestion. That's 100% not it. I haven't touched it. It's a really easy fix. Awesome. Just take off the plenum. The issue is the ground wire isn't grounding because of the powder. No way, LOL. Yes, been there, done that already. You know the stud with the nut that has the little brown grounding wire? That's probably loose or not grounding properly, and I'm 100% sure of it. Thanks, bro. Them actuators are expensive AF. It may even be simpler than what that guy just said. Anyways, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. About to pull the manifold off. I've got this boot off right there. I got a few other things off. And then I went to go unplug our intake air temp sensor, which is this guy here. This plug was stuck and the throttle, I don't know if it'll move now. Either way, this plug-in was jamming underneath this linkage right here. I don't think we have a problem at all with this car. I think this guy slipped under there somehow and that caused all of our issues. I'm going to put that boot back on and start it up because it's gonna run. Wow, sick video, sick issue, Devin. Could have figured that out a few days ago if you wanted to, but you didn't want to. See, I always have a really bad habit of immediately assuming the worst with cars, especially cars that I touch. I'm always like, what's the worst possible thing it could be? Okay, we have a check engine light. For the throttle actuators are probably screwed. And it makes sense because they have problems with that. But let's start it up because I already know it's gonna run good. So I guess we don't even need to start it up because I already know it's gonna run good. But let's start it up. The battery randomly died the other day out of nowhere. Two days ago. Then I charged it for 2 full days. It said it was 100%. Now it won't even start. I think his battery's shit. I don't feel like buying a new battery though, right now. Well, I probably will later today. So I'm gonna throw it on the battery charger real quick, get her fired back up just to make sure we're good, because I don't wanna buy a battery if this car is gonna go off a cliff. Cool, my car runs. Sick, that was a really hard fix. 10 seconds. I should probably zip tie that wire so it doesn't happen again. Am I the only one who treats their cars like an actual human being? If cars treat me good, I always treat them good back. Like the M3 was just easy, so I did a complete undercarriage wash, put it way up on the lift, spent like an hour and a half detailing the underside of that thing. Yeah, I always think, like if I treat a car well, like care for it well, it's gonna treat me well back. It never really works like that, but that's what I think. Let's go on another test drive on this car. And I lost my GoPro. Where's my GoPro? Make sure it rips still. See if we can break it again. Hopefully not. It shouldn't break because we took care of it. Like we washed it. So it's not gonna break now. Let's see what happens. except for when it breaks. But when it breaks, it's always my fault. So it's okay. Alright, I'm gonna do a 1/3 gear, just ripper, and see what we actually get for boost. 7.5 pounds. I love this thing. It's so sick. Should we turn off the boost? All right, my friends, we are all finished up with the M. That thing's ready to go. I'm so excited just to put some miles on that car and really enjoy it. So that car's all finished up. Did a little bit of maintenance on the bike, got it cleaned up. That thing's ready to go. And let's move on to the next project, the next big project. It's not gonna be this car yet. I wanna do everything at once, so we're waiting on parts in the mail for this thing. The next big project is this car again. I know you're probably be confused because we already spent like a whole month building that car, but it's time to tear it apart again. So a couple months back, we did the entire engine bay, fully built motor, turbo kit, blah, 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 made it fast. But now it is time to tear apart the rear end. There's already a few things that I know are messed up on it. Like for example, our sway bar bushings. So the next big project for our beloved Hyper Blue Evo 8 is the entire rear end. Kind of like we did with the front. Thankfully, with the rear end, there's not nearly as many parts. We have like the rear subframe, rear diff, of course, upper control arm, lower control arm, axle. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to do any sort of undercoating. The car doesn't really need it because it's fairly clean. Like maybe we'll just pressure wash it, degrease it, pressure wash it, leave it like that. Because I've read so many horror stories about people undercoating their vehicles, water getting trapped underneath the undercoating. Like over the years, it kind of starts deteriorating and just rusts out the entire freaking car. So I really don't want to have that issue with this thing ever. I'm not really sure. So if you guys have any good suggestions, drop a comment down in the comment section below. So yeah, today is going to be a tear down type of day. I want to get the whole rear end or as much of it torn down as possible. I do have a birthday dinner to attend tonight at 7 p.m. So we only have about 4 hours to work on this thing today. So we'll get done what we can get done. Let's just go ahead and start by pulling off the wheels. Thankfully the brakes are already done, so we don't have to do anything there. So pop off the wheels, diffuser is gonna come off, exhaust should probably come off. And I'm honestly not a big fan of the street pipe on this thing. It sounds cool, but it's freaking loud. And I've been looking for a Tome for it, but they are all out of stock everywhere. So if anyone knows of a JDM rear Tome for 8 or 9, let me know because I want it. All right, let's start pulling some stuff apart. So calipers are gonna come off too, but I cannot talk. Coilover comes off, brakes are gonna come back off. All the suspension arms, all 4 of those guys are gonna come off and get refinished. Sway bar, of course, all the bushings are gonna be replaced. Axles we're gonna have to rebuild. Rear diff we're gonna go through. Subframe is gonna be gone through. Hello, Bobby. What is that?
It is my new wheel and tire cleaner.
So let's start with the coil, caliper, and all the suspension arms. I've got my ass kicked by one side so far. I'm gonna move on to the other side, get my ass kicked again, and then we should be able to pull the subframe out. So many of these bolts are either seized or crusty. I've broken 2 bolts off so far. I had to cut the end link off for the rear sway. There's a lot of sus things going on, so I'm excited to get this thing completely torn apart and fix everything. So this is where we ended up. The whole ass end of her is pretty much torn apart. There's a few little things left that I want to pull off. And I really want to do some sort of undercoating. It'd be nice to get this thing minty clean underneath. So here is subframe, rear diff, ton of control arms, pretty much every single part that we need to either refinish, replace. We have so many bushings. Every control arm has multiple bushings in that I want to get all replaced. So I should probably buy a press to make that life a little bit easier. To finish today up, we're gonna throw a few nice JDC parts on Bobby's car that we picked up while we were down there. I don't really know what these are, but I'm sure Bobby knows. Looks like we have an oil cap and then 2 more caps. Sick. If you guys want to pick up those caps we just installed on Bobby's car, I'll link them down in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think of this Evo 8 project. Hopefully we can get it done quick. It's definitely not going to be a few month process like the whole engine build and engine bay was. Maybe a week. Depends how far we go. We might go a little bit deeper, but that's going to be a wrap for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends. See you guys tomorrow.